right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving deep today into the world of persuasion. You ready for this?
No, absolutely.
I think this is going to be fascinating.
We've got a couple really interesting books to guide us.
Yeah.
We've got Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson.
Yes.
And then we've got Técnicas Prohibidas de Persuasion by Steve Allen.
That's right.
And we want to kind of look at, how do people influence us?
It's everywhere, right?
It's everywhere. I mean, it's from the moment you wake up to the moment you go back to bed.
Every single interaction you have with somebody, pretty much.
Yeah. What are you looking at on your phone? How did you decide what to wear today?
Yeah, what are you having for dinner?
I mean, it's fascinating.
All these decisions.
And it's not all, nefarious and bad.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is.
Of course not.
Yeah, just how we interact as humans.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some techniques that people use.
Absolutely.
To kind of nudge us in certain directions.
Yeah, and this has been used throughout history, right?
Like if you think about some very different figures like Mother Teresa.
Oh, yeah.
And Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, very different people.
Extremely different figures, but they were using similar principles in a way.
Yeah.
To get people to do what they wanted them to do.
It's so interesting, and I think that's one of the things that Brunson really emphasizes in Expert Secrets.
Yeah.
Is this idea of becoming an expert.
Yeah.
As kind of the foundation of persuasion.
That's right.
He talks about his own journey.
Yeah, he's a great example.
Of selling potato guns.
Potato guns.
DVDs about how to build potato guns.
Like, who knew? But people are out there.
Right. And he saw that there was this need.
Exactly. He saw that people were asking these questions.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to be the guy that gives them the answers.
Right. And so instead of just selling a product, he was selling his knowledge.
Totally. And that set him apart. And it created that following, that tribe that wanted to follow him and learn from him.
So once you become that expert, then you're in a better position to influence.
Absolutely.
Right.
Because people trust you. They see you as the authority in that niche.
You're the go-to person.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So that's becoming an expert. But how do you then persuade people,
Yeah, like what are the actual techniques?
What are the mechanics of it?
Right.
And that's where I think Técnicas Prohibidas de Persuasion really comes in.
Yes. Steve Allen talks a lot about the power of language.
Language.
Right. Just subtle changes in how you phrase things can make a huge difference in how people respond.
Give me an example.
Okay. Have you ever been approached by those Hare Krishnas that give you a flower?
Oh, yeah.
And then they ask for a donation?
Oh, yeah. You feel so obligated.
You feel like you have to give them something because they gave you this gift.
Right.
But it's like, wait a minute, I didn't even want this flower.
Yeah.
But that's the principle of reciprocity.
Reciprocity, yeah.
We feel compelled to return favors, even when we didn't ask for them in the first place.
It's sneaky, but it's effective.
It's very clever.
Yeah.
And they're using language to frame that as a gift.
Right.
So that you feel obligated to reciprocate.
That's really interesting.
It makes you think twice about all the subtle ways that we're being influenced all the time.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so language is one thing.
It's huge.
But what about our nonverbal communication?
Yeah, body language is massive.
Right. So much of what we communicate is not actually
more than what we say.
In the words.
Right. There's research that shows that
like 90-something%.
93% of communication is nonverbal.
That's insane.
It's wild.
So it's our posture, our facial expressions, our gesture.
Our tone of voice.
All of that.
It's like when you watch a foreign film.
Right.
And you don't have subtitles.
You can still understand what's going on.
You can still kind of get the gist of it.
Exactly. So if I want to be more persuasive, I need to be mindful of both my words and my body language.
Absolutely. It's about aligning those two things to create a cohesive message.
Right.
And that brings us to something a little bit more complex, but fascinating. NLP?
NLP.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
Have you ever dabbled in it at all?
I've heard the term, but I don't really know what it means.
It can sound a little esoteric.
Yeah.
But at its core, it's really about understanding how our thoughts, language, and behavior are all interconnected.
Okay.
And how you can use that to influence both yourself and others.
Okay.
And one of the key concepts in NLP is metaprograms.
Metaprograms.
So these are like filters that determine how we process information and make decisions.
Got it.
So one example is the away toward metaprogram.
Okay.
So some people are primarily motivated by avoiding problems.
Okay.
They're moving away from things they don't want.
Right.
And other people are more motivated by achieving goals.
So they're moving towards things they want.
Exactly. They're moving toward the things that they want.
That's fascinating.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because if you're talking to somebody, You really have to know which one of those.
You have to know your audience.
They're to even tailor.
And tailor your language to match
Yeah.
their meta program.
So if they're away motivated,
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about the problems they can avoid.
exactly.
But if they're toward motivated, I want to talk about all the great things they can achieve.
That's right. You're speaking their language.
Right.
You're understanding their motivations.
Yeah.
And then you can frame your message in a way that resonates with them.
This is blowing my mind.
I know. It's deep stuff.
I feel like we could do a whole deep dive just on NLP.
We could. Maybe we should.
But for now, let's move on to another big name in persuasion. Robert Cialdini.
Yes, Cialdini.
He's got his 6 principles of persuasion,
Oh, the 6 principles.
which are like the golden rules of influence.
Yeah, they're classic.
Yeah. And I'm particularly interested in this principle of commitment and consistency.
Oh, yeah, that one's a good one.
It's so fascinating to me.
It is.
So explain that a little bit.
So the idea is that once we make a commitment, even a small one,
Yeah.
we're more likely to act in ways that are consistent with that commitment.
Right.
So there was a study done where homeowners were much more likely to agree to display a large, unsightly sign in their yard
Okay.
after they'd already agreed to put up a smaller one.
So what, you mean they were more likely to agree to the big sign after they agreed to the small sign?
Yes.
Wouldn't you think it would be the opposite?
You would think so, but that initial commitment, even if it's small,
Yeah.
creates this sense of internal pressure
Right.
to remain consistent.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So they've already taken a step in that direction.
Yeah.
So they're more inclined to keep going.
So it's like opening the door a crack and then,
Yeah, and then swinging it wide open.
Yeah.
And they use this everywhere, right?
like where?
Like getting people to sign petitions or
Yeah.
convincing them to upgrade their purchases.
Oh, interesting. So you start small
You start small
and then you go big.
and you escalate the commitment.
Wow. It's amazing how these little psychological triggers
It's fascinating, isn't it?
really can sway our behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like Cialdini's has got a lot more to teach us about the art of persuasion.
Oh, we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah, so much more to uncover. But we'll have to save that for next time.
Uh,
So join us for part 2
we'll dive even deeper.
to explore even more of these fascinating principles.
That's right. All right, so we're back, and we left off talking about Cialdini's 6 principles of persuasion.
Yeah, we were just getting started with commitment and consistency.
Right. So let's move on to another fascinating principle, authority.
Authority, okay.
It suggests that we're more inclined to defer to figures of authority,
Okay.
even when their authority is questionable.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
It is a little unsettling.
Yeah.
Think about the Milgram experiment,
Oh gosh, yeah.
where people were willing to inflict pain on others just because a guy in a lab coat told them to.
It's terrifying, but
Yeah.
it shows you the power.
It's a powerful demonstration of authority.
Yeah, of just somebody in a position.
Right. And it doesn't have to be a lab coat.
Right.
It could be a uniform.
Yeah.
It could be a title. It could be even just somebody who seems confident and assertive.
It's like those celebrity endorsements.
Exactly. Celebrity endorsements, influencer marketing.
You think, oh, well, if they, like, it must be good.
Right. And it can be helpful,
Yeah,
but you have to be careful.
right. You can't just blindly follow anybody.
You have to think for yourself.
Yeah,
So how can we use this principle ethically?
that's a good question because you don't want to be manipulating people.
No, you don't want to manipulate people. You want to
Yeah.
use it for good.
Yeah.
So one way is to build your own credibility,
Okay. Like becoming that expert.
like we talked about with Brunson.
Right. Right.
Becoming the go-to person in your niche.
Okay.
And another way is to borrow authority.
Borrow authority.
Okay. So by associating yourself with credible sources.
Oh, I see.
So if you're writing an article about health,
Yeah.
you might cite studies from reputable medical journals
Okay.
or, quote, respected doctors.
So you're basically piggybacking.
You're aligning yourself with the experts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that boosts your own credibility.
Okay. So we've got commitment and consistency authority.
What's next?
What about liking?
Oh, liking. That's a big one.
I feel like that's pretty obvious. We're more likely to be persuaded by people we like.
Right, but what makes us like someone?
Yeah, is it just about being charming?
Well, charm helps,
Yeah.
but Cialdini found that we tend to like people who are similar to us,
Oh, interesting.
who compliment us,
Okay.
and who cooperate with us.
So finding common ground, giving genuine praise.
Working together towards shared goals.
Okay.
All those things increase liking
Yeah.
and therefore persuasiveness.
It's all about building that connection.
Building rapport,
Yeah.
which is crucial, especially in today's world.
Where we're just bombarded with information.
With messages.
Yeah, you got to stand out somehow.
You got to cut through the noise.
All right, so we've got commitment and consistency, authority, liking.
Keep going.
Scarcity.
Scarcity. The fear of missing out.
Yeah. That one gets me every time.
Limited time offer, act now.
While supplies last.
Yeah, I can't resist.
It plays on our loss aversion.
Loss aversion.
Yeah, we're more motivated to avoid losses
Okay.
than to achieve gains.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when something is presented as scarce,
Yeah.
we see it as a potential loss
Right.
if we don't act fast.
That's like, oh no, I got to get this before it's gone.
Exactly.
But how do you use that ethically?
Because it can be manipulative.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of creating artificial scarcity,
Okay.
focus on highlighting the genuine value
Okay.
and uniqueness of what you're offering.
So don't just say, this offer ends tomorrow.
Right.
Say something like, we only have a limited number of these.
Exactly.
And once they're gone, they're gone. You're being truthful,
Right.
but you're still emphasizing that element of scarcity.
Okay. I like that.
All right, what's next?
So we've got commitment and consistency, authority, liking scarcity.
Almost there.
Social proof.
Social proof, the power of the crowd.
Oh, yeah, the bandwagon effect.
Everybody's doing it, so it must be good.
Right, exactly.
It's especially powerful when we're uncertain.
Okay.
We look to others for guidance.
So it's like those 9 out of 10 dentists recommend.
Exactly.
Yeah, or all those testimonials on websites.
Testimonials, reviews, you
Yeah.
see other people endorsing something,
Yeah.
and you're more likely to trust it.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got commitment and consistency, authority, liking scarcity, social proof.
One more.
One more. Okay, what is it?
Unity.
Unity.
Yeah, this one's a little bit newer,
Okay.
but it's all about the power of shared identity.
Okay, so it's like belonging to a group.
It's about that feeling of we-ness.
Okay.
So this could be based on shared values,
Yeah.
beliefs, experiences,
Right.
or even just a common enemy.
So you're more likely to be persuaded by people you feel like you're on the same team with.
Exactly. You're part of the same tribe.
Okay, I can see how this plays out in politics.
Oh, absolutely.
Creating that us versus them mentality.
Yeah. They can be very effective.
All right, so there you have it. Cialdini's 6 principles of persuasion.
A powerful framework for understanding influence.
Really is, it's like a cheat sheet for human behavior.
In a way, it is.
Okay, so we've talked about becoming an expert,
Yeah.
the power of language, body language, NLP, Cialdini's principles.
What else?
What about storytelling?
Storytelling, the heart of persuasion.
I love a good story.
Me too. And they're more than just entertainment.
Right.
They're how we make sense of the world
Yep.
and connect with each other.
Yeah.
And when it comes to persuasion,
Yeah.
stories can be incredibly powerful
How so?
because they bypass our logical defenses
Oh, interesting.
and tap directly into our emotions.
So instead of arguing with facts and figures,
You're telling a story that resonates with people on an emotional level.
it's like sneaking past a security guard.
Right. You're getting past those rational barriers
Yeah.
and connecting with people's hearts.
So how do you do that? How do you tell a persuasive story?
One key principle is to make it personal.
Personal. Okay.
Relatable, share stories about your own struggles,
Okay.
your triumphs, your lessons learned.
Or stories about people that your audience can relate to.
Exactly. People who have faced similar challenges.
Okay, so make it personal. What else?
Create a clear conflict and resolution.
Conflict.
Stories without conflict are boring.
Right. Nobody wants to hear about happily ever after.
No, you need tension. You need a protagonist who faces obstacles
Right.
and ultimately overcomes them.
Like a good movie.
Exactly. And the resolution should provide a sense of satisfaction.
Closure.
Yeah, make people feel inspired.
Okay, so make it personal, create conflict, provide resolution. What else?
Don't forget about vivid language.
Vivid language.
Paint a picture with your words. Engage your audience's senses.
So instead of just saying it was a nice day,
You might say, the sun was shining, the birds were singing, a gentle breeze was blowing.
I see you're really bringing it to life.
You're making them feel like they're there.
Okay, so make it personal, create conflict, provide resolution, use vivid language, any other storytelling techniques.
Well, metaphors and analogies can be really effective.
Metaphors, okay?
They can help explain complex concepts
Got it.
in a way that's easy to understand.
So like saying time is money.
Exactly. Or life is a journey.
Okay.
It creates a connection between something familiar
Right.
and something unfamiliar.
Got it.
What else? Case studies and testimonials.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
People are more persuaded by evidence
Right.
and social proof.
So if I'm trying to sell my product,
You can share stories about how it's helped other people.
real-life examples.
Real-life examples.
Okay.
It beats credibility and trust.
Yeah, okay, but are there any ethical considerations when using storytelling for persuasion?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because you could make up stories.
You could, but you shouldn't.
Right,
Ethical storytelling is about building trust,
right.
not manipulating people.
So no fabricating evidence or exaggerating claims.
No tall tales.
Okay, good to know.
Authenticity is key.
Yeah, you got to be real.
Be genuine, be transparent,
Get there.
and people will respond to that.
This has been so eye-opening.
I know.
We've really gone deep into the art of persuasion.
We've uncovered some powerful tools.
But as we wrap up, I want to emphasize this point.
Yeah,
The most persuasive people are the ones who are genuinely passionate
absolutely.
about what they're talking about.
It's that fire in their belly
Yeah.
that makes people listen.
It's contagious.
It is.
So find something you believe in.
Something you're excited about.
Yeah.
And let that passion shine through.
Because that's what makes you truly persuasive.
That's right.
Okay, so building rapport and trust, that's another crucial element of persuasion.
It's essential.
But how do you do that, especially with people you're meeting for the first time?
Well, one of the simplest ways is to find common ground.
Common ground. Okay.
People are drawn to those they see themselves in.
Okay.
So look for shared interests,
Right.
similar experiences,
Yeah.
anything that creates a connection.
So I'm talking to someone who's a huge foodie.
And you love to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an instant bonding moment.
You're on the same page.
We can talk about restaurants or recipes.
Yeah, you're building that we're in this together feeling,
Right.
and that makes people more open to what you have to say.
It's like you're saying, hey, we both get it.
We're part of the same club.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so common ground. What about active listening?
Active listening is crucial.
Okay.
It's not just about hearing the words.
Right.
It's about understanding someone's perspective,
Right.
their needs, their desires.
So really putting yourself in their shoes.
You're not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right.
You're genuinely trying to see the world through their eyes.
So it's about being present in the moment, absorbing what they're saying.
Not just formulating your response.
Yeah.
When people feel heard and understood,
Okay.
they're more likely to trust you.
Right, because it shows you care.
You value their perspective.
Okay, so common ground, active listening.
And authenticity.
Authenticity. Okay, that's a big one.
It's become a bit of a buzzword,
Yeah.
but it's essential for building lasting trust.
So what does that mean in the context of persuasion?
Be genuine.
Okay.
Be transparent.
Right.
Be true to yourself.
Don't try to be someone you're not.
People can spot a phony a mile away.
Yeah.
They're drawn to people who are
Relatable.
relatable, even a little vulnerable.
So it's okay to admit when you don't know something.
It's okay to show your human side.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes you more trustworthy.
Because it's like you're saying, hey, I'm not perfect.
I'm just like you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we've covered so much in this deep dive.
It's been a whirlwind.
Becoming an expert language, body language, NLP, Cialdini's principles, storytelling.
And now authenticity
Wow.
and building rapport.
So much to think about.
But as we wrap up,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with this thought.
Okay.
The most persuasive people are the ones who are genuinely passionate
Yeah.
about what they're talking about.
It's that spark.
That fire in their belly.
Yeah, that makes people sit up and take notice.
So find something you truly believe in.
Yeah, something that lights you up.
And let that passion shine through.
Because when you're passionate, it's contagious.
It is.
People can't help but be drawn to that energy.
And that's what makes you persuasive.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the art of persuasion.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights.
And remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Use these techniques wisely and ethically.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep persuading.
So common ground, active listening, authenticity, we're talking about building rapport and trust.
Yeah, those are the foundations.
But it's got to be genuine, right?
Absolutely. People can see right through fakeness.
How do you avoid that, especially when you're first meeting someone?
Well, like we said, finding common ground is huge.
Okay, so you're looking for those shared interests, experiences.
Yeah, anything that builds that we're on the same team feeling.
Right, so if someone's really into fitness and I love running, boom, instant connection.
Exactly. You can swap workout tips, talk about your favorite trails, whatever it is.
Yeah, you're building that rapport.
And that makes people much more open to what you have to say.
Okay, so common ground is key. What about active listening?
Active listening is so important. It goes beyond just hearing the words.
Right. It's about actually understanding their perspective.
Yeah, you're trying to see the world through their eyes.
So you're not just planting your next brilliant response while they're talking.
No, you're truly present in the moment, absorbing what they're saying.
Okay, so you're showing them that their thoughts and opinions actually matter.
Exactly. That's huge in building trust.
So common ground, active listening, and then there's authenticity.
Authenticity is a big one. It's about being real, transparent.
How do you make that work in persuasion?
Don't try to be someone you're not. People can smell that a mile away.
So no pretending to have all the answers.
It's okay to admit when you don't know something or share your own struggles.
Right, you're showing your human side.
Exactly. And that makes you more relatable, more trustworthy.
People are drawn to that. It's refreshing.
Absolutely. It's about connecting on a human level.
Okay, so we've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's been amazing.
Yeah, we've explored some really powerful concepts.
Becoming an expert, language, body language, NLP, Cialdini's principles.
Storytelling, building a rapport, authenticity.
There's a lot to take in.
But it's all interconnected. It all contributes to the art of persuasion.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me
Yeah.
is that passion is key.
Passion is everything.
The most persuasive people are the ones who genuinely believe in what they're talking about.
It's that fire in their belly that makes people listen.
It's contagious. You can't fake that.
No, you can't. So find something you're passionate about
Something that lights you up,
and let that passion shine through in everything you do.
because that's what makes you truly persuasive.
That's the secret sauce.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the art of persuasion.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights. And remember,
Yeah.
use these techniques wisely and ethically.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep persuading.